Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Andrea Hawk, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Monday. It's a bit gloomy and dreary out today here in St. Louis, a bit rainy, but hope wherever you guys are, afternoon or morning, you're having a wonderful day. Welcome everyone in the chat. We've got Sam, Allison, Jennifer, Keith, Camille, lots of you guys today. Ed, welcome back, Ed. Lots of familiar faces. Julia. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll be checking the chat throughout the stream. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, just let me know. Drop a question in there and I will answer it. So let's go ahead and hop on over to Behance and we can check out what today's challenge is. Let me pull that up. All right. So I'm just on behance.net/challenge/XD. So if you want to follow along with me, you can do that. And of course, if you're not already registered, go ahead and sign up right here with this big blue button. And that way you'll get notified every day in your Creative Cloud app right up here that we have a new challenge. So how does it work? Each day you'll receive a challenge. I'll give you a new prompt. You can just scroll on down here and check out what the new challenge is that's unlocked for the day. And every day we have our daily live show right here at 2 p.m. Pacific. I have to make sure which time zone we're in there. And of course, we have our awesome community chat over on Discord, about 43,000 of you guys. So thank you so much for joining that. And you can play solve your work there to get feedback if you want. All right, so let's see what we're going to be working on today. So since during these two-week challenges, we've kind of been focusing on augmented reality since I'm like obsessed with that right now. So that's what I wanted to focus on. So today I want you guys to design a sort of garden inventory management experience. So think of like you're in your garden or you're in your garden shed. Maybe it's you want to track like your plants or your actual like gardening tools. Maybe with your plants you want to track like when you need to harvest, which sort of elements need to be watered when and such. So that's what I want you guys to work on. And I want you to use plugins to try to adapt your experience for web or tablet if you want. So you can follow along with me. Just hop on over to this Dropbox link and you can just hit download over here, direct download, and then you'll have a starter file like this. And you can follow along with me. And if you missed anything last week, these challenges aren't progressive or anything, so don't worry about that. But you can watch all the replays with these blue buttons here. So let's hop into Discord really quick. If you want to sign up for Discord, you can just hit this join us button, or this is the link right here. So bit.ly/XD Discord if you want to sign up. And I'll just hop in there just to highlight a few of the kind of important channels we've got. So if you want to know like when we're going live, just check out current challenge channel and Sam will let us know when I'm going live. Pretty simple, straightforward there. If you want to submit your work for feedback, so you can just post it in here if it's like a link to your Behance project or if it's a screenshot or a prototype that you've exported from XD, whatever you feel like sharing. So you guys have been really sharing a bunch of awesome work. I've kind of been blown away during these 2 weeks challenges because some of these are very creative. I'm loving this. So yeah, feel free to explore around in there. We've got our mentors who are online over there and they'll be giving you feedback. So let's hop into our design. Like I mentioned, gardening sort of app. So here's some inspiration for you. This one by Hannah White. This one's a little more like scientific, but I liked the sort of dashboard style if you want to do something more like this where there's a lot of more information. This one like really gets into it, like the soil nutrient breakdown. If you want to show some graphs like that, you can do that. This one I loved. This is like kind of my style also, you know. So this is by Ming. I liked that he showed a bunch of like plots of where exactly all of the plants are. You can show like vegetation index. That's kind of a cool idea. So just feel free to play around. So we're going kind of for like a dashboard sort of. As always, I've got my resource booklet right here. You can hop through some of those, just links to icons and stuff that I like, and some tips down here for myself. So just about augmented reality design and specifically today's challenge. So one is think about where you want this device to live, like in your garden, if it's something that you want to take around with you maybe, and it's like augmented reality and you want to show exactly like the camera feeds while you're walking around looking at your plants. Or is it something that you sit on a tool bench maybe and it stays put kind of? Or is it something that maybe you'll hang up in a wall and you'll just kind of like tap like a tablet like that? And then just some different features that you might want to think about adding. So like watering schedule is one, monitoring growth, knowing when to harvest, buying more seeds, and just like planning where you're going to plant everything. And of course, be sure to share on Behance and Discord when you're done. Behance with that keyword XD Daily Challenge. So I'm going to get started. Sam mentioned in the chat, don't forget we have this feedback for our live content, so be sure to give feedback if you would like it. And welcome everyone that's just joining. Akin, welcome guys. Okay, so I am gonna just start. This is 1920 by 1080, so if you want to start with an artboard over here, we've got a bunch of different sizes. I'm just doing web size. And I have a very cool plugin that I want to show you guys today. I'll just like show it now, I guess. So plugins, you can find all of your plugins down here. And this one that I want to show you is Anima or Anima. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to say it. But this one is so cool because you can export now all of your code, your CSS, HTML from XD, which is like, that's something that we've been asking for so long. So for instance, this is the file that I've downloaded from Anima. I'll show this after I build it all, but basically this is, you can preview it on the web, which is so cool. So I'll kind of get into that more towards the end once we've built more out. But this is where all of your plugins will live. If you want to download Anima as well, or like explore any of the other ones, just press this plus icon right here and you can search. So just search like Anima, or you can just browse any of the other ones that we've got. These are a few of my favorites. Calendar, Color Ranger, Google Sheets, I use that one all the time. Cool, so let's get started. So I know I want to kind of break this up into two columns, two like huge columns, I'll say. So on one side, I want to have sort of a live camera feed of my garden. So I'm going to say like, maybe this is more of a tablet, desktop size tablet, a large tablet that I'll carry around with me throughout my garden. And this is just like a stock image from Adobe Stock of a garden. This will be our live feed. And then over this, I want to show sort of augmented reality, an interface of like, where are my tomatoes? Where are my carrots and such? So usually when I'm doing something like this, if I have a live feed or if it's, you know, an image that I really want to make huge, I usually make it like 3/4 of the screen if I know that I'm going to be tapping around in there a lot. So that's what I'll do. So on this side, I'm going to start adding some things that are like I would use a lot for my gardening. So one is the date, obviously. Let's add that. Down here, let's just say like Thursday, 15th. And then on the other side of this, let's just add a little divider. When in doubt, add a divider. That's what I always do. Make this a bit bigger. Yeah. And then on this other side, I'll add just some more menu items. So let's say like we're on the dashboard right now. Put this, I'm just lining this up. Everything that I add to this interface, I always try to line up with one other thing at least. I never just want to leave something hanging. So for instance, dashboard, like this line of text, I will line it all up with the top of this 15. Let's say like cameras is another one. Maybe schedule, planting schedule, something like that. And if you don't know this trick, if you want to automatically space these out evenly, just select all of those and then just hit this, I think it's called distribute horizontally. There you go. Distributed horizontally perfectly. And then let's do just a line under here, and I'll make this a green color just to know that it's selected. And I'll make this the same color, that same green. Cool. So below this, we can start adding some rows of content. So on a dashboard of like gardening stuff, I'd probably want to see what all I have planted. So my inventory. So let's just say your inventory. And we'll put this on the left. This font that I'm using today is Europa. That's probably my top 5 favorite fonts. I remember someone in the chat before was like, I've been stockpiling all of the fonts that Andrea says. I have a whole list. So love to see that. Okay, so on the right side, maybe on dashboard, I don't want to add like too much in each of these little blocks. So maybe I'll have just a little drop down in case I want to see more, like double click in there to see more data about my inventory. And then below that, I'll just add, I grabbed some images of random veggies and stuff that I would plant. These are just emojis. When in doubt, I always use emojis because they already look great and, you know, they're pretty small. Don't have to go searching a bunch. So we've got a potato. And I'm not worrying too much about spacing these again because I can use that horizontal align evenly. And this one, I didn't even know what this was, but this is a sweet potato emoji, apparently. Didn't know that. Okay, so let's, actually, I want tomato to be more like in the center, so. Okay, so I'll just select all of these and then just horizontally kind of align them there. And let's say the tomato is selected. So I'm using the shortcut command and then the left bracket to send it backwards. And then just keep pressing that. And then I'll just kind of group all these together with the same color background. So let's do this. Raphael said, looks like a Korean potato. I've never tried one of those. Don't know what that looks like, but it sounds delicious. Okay, and I'll bring down the opacity to like 15 or so. And just group all of those. Is that all that I had? Okay. Let's see. One thing on this is I want it to kind of look like this is scrollable left and right. So I am going to just drag a few of these off a little bit. Let me just send this back a bit. So it looks like it's very scrollable. Okay. And then I'll group those and just put them in a clipping mask. And the shortcut for that is Shift-Command-M for clipping mask. Oh wait, I didn't want to group. Let's ungroup this. Didn't want the background in there. Okay. So group all of those. Oh no, I have too many. Okay, no, that's right. That's better. There we go. So now it kind of looks like we can scroll through all of those. Make this a tad bit bigger. Cool, so that looks good. What else? Now I want to add just another row of maybe watering schedule. So let's move this down a bit. And then I'll just change this to say watering schedule. Okay. And then so watering schedule, I'd want to know like time and date. So let's add some text here for time. And usually whenever I'm doing, I don't know why, but I always do this button for point text instead of like paragraph text, just because it's a little easier to resize if I want to. And I'll make this gray so it doesn't stand out as much. And again, I'm just aligning everything to this left align over here. I definitely wouldn't want to make all of this center aligned because it's on the left side, so that it would look a little wonky. Okay, so this will be time. And then I want to add a filter. let's say every day at like 10 a.m. for 15 minutes, I want the watering hose to go off or whatever. So 10 a.m. that looks good. I'll just copy this tiny little bit of text. Again, I'm still using Europa. 10 for 15 minutes or so. Okay. And then I'll copy this same filter. Just using a bunch of gray here, really, since I don't want to use a ton of color throughout this interface over here, since this, like the live camera feed, is what I want to really be the main focus. So I'm really just going to use mostly grays on this side. So let's say 15, and this will be like a drop down, and minutes. Jennifer asked, how would you account for growing zones? So actually one thing that I want to do on this side is, let's see, I already created this. So this was a repeat grid, and I just want to kind of lay this over. This would be our augmented reality style. I didn't have time to actually make it into an actual video like last week, but this is how I would love to portray this, and perhaps like each square that we click on, that would be a separate section, or, you know, group of squares would be a separate section of veggies. So let's see, I've got like a tomato one right here. Let's say we've got 4 sections of this tomato. So I want to kind of call that out and make those a little bit brighter. And the way that I did this perspective grid thing is I first just did a bunch of squares. So it would be like this with the repeat grid. Just dragged this over a bit and gave it some spacing, and then gave it some more columns there, or rows. And then I made this a bit rounded, got rid of the border. And then what I did was just took this into Illustrator and used the like live perspective tool, just put it on like the ground plane, if that makes sense. And then just copied and pasted it back over. But I feel like the perspective is a little easier to do over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and like copy some of these. Oh, so many groups. Copy and paste, and then we'll group these 3 together. And I want this to be white. And then just so I know exactly where this tomato grouping is coming from, I'll do a little line coming down and bring this to the front, and then group just all of these. Okay. So you kind of get the idea. Like once we touch separate areas, it would show like tomatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes, whatever we have. And let's finish our watering schedule over here. Let's say we also have like days, and maybe it's just all of the days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, R for Thursday, Friday. And again, I'm not really worried about the spacing here because I can just use that this horizontal distribute very easily. And I just want like 2 days to be selected or so. So we'll do like Tuesday and Friday. Okay. Space those out a bit. All right, so looking pretty good. I could obviously add a lot more on this page, but I do want to kind of get into that Anima plugin and show you how I did that. So the way that I did that, so let's go into the plugins right here. So you have to select whichever artboard you want to share and preview online. So let's select this whole artboard just by the title. And then, oh, Jennifer said another good addition would be the growing and harvest days. For example, 45 for some and 60 for others. That's a good idea. How long you have in the harvest. And then just select Anima if you have it installed. It's free to install. And then you have to add a new project right here. So I just called this Daily Creative Challenge Garden. So I'll select that one. And there's a bunch of other options down here. I haven't totally played with all of these, but like hover effect and other animations and stuff where the interactions are going. But it's super simple. Just click preview in browser, and then it'll give you this little spinning circle, and it'll say it's processing. And it asks if you want to open it, and then you can open it up in the Anima website. And then, you know, if you have this all like mocked up, you could just play around with it. So we'll see, maybe like the text wasn't exactly the same, so that's something we need to upload the text. The like transparent white here, we might want to change that as well. So it's a good way of kind of previewing your work to see if it'll work online or not. And then the way that I did exporting of the code was you have to go into just like your personal workspace. And so this is that project right here, Garden Inventory Management, and just select the 3 drop down right here. Maybe it was, let me refresh. Oh, never mind. We're already in that page. Okay. So you would select this on the last page, and then just export code is up here. So cool. Oh my God. Like, I'm going to be using this so much. And then you just download. That's that package right there. I already have it pulled up. And you've got, look at that. Amazing. So you've got your HTML, the sitemap, your fonts, CSS. So you'll see like when I drop down here, there's nothing in fonts. So that's why the fonts looked different. So cool. So play around with that plugin. There's a lot of things you could do with that. Very neat to make it real. Okay, so let's go ahead and Command S to save. And if you want to, of course, you can upload your work to Behance. So if you do decide to do that, make sure you go into the settings right here and go into the discoverability tab and add that keyword XD Daily Challenge so I can find your work and give you feedback if you'd like. So let's go ahead and save that. And now I'd like to look at some of you guys' work that you've been sharing. So what I do is I just search XD Daily Challenge. Let me refresh. See if there's anything new. There is. Cool. And I was just sort by most recent. Ed, you're watching. You just posted this. Very nice. Okay, so the one on Friday was for a kind of augmented reality shower interface. So let's see what Ed did. He blew us away last week, so this is awesome. I love the gradient colors. Very nice. Nice that you made temperature the biggest thing, because we don't want to get too distracted with like all of these other nice to have features like radio and stuff. Wow, very nicely laid out. Let's look at the prototype. So I don't know if you can hear it, but he's doing the voice animation or voice trigger to raise and lower the temperature and the light. Cool. Love this. That looks so good. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Ed. That looks awesome. Let's look at another one. This one's by Amy Kang. Hey, Ed. Just saw you in the chat. So this was also the shower one. Let's take a look at her prototype. Also, love the mock-up. Very realistic there. I like it. Okay, let's preview this from the beginning. So yeah, you have to hold down the space bar. I was giving a little notification there. Ooh, that's a cool animation. Love that. And again, you can't hear, I don't think through my microphone, but she's giving voice triggers. So cool. All right, guys, that is about all the time that I have left for today, unfortunately. But I'll be looking at your work still in Discord, so in that current challenge channel. So if you still want to submit any of your work from today or previous challenge, go ahead and submit it there. And don't go anywhere, because in about 5 minutes, we've got Veronica Belmont and Paul Triani, and they'll be in Adobe Spark for 2 hours, I believe. All right, guys, and I will be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m., so I will see you then. Have a great day. Bye.